Hello, world, and welcome back to Real Talk with Rajan. I am your host, Rajan Lewis. Here on Real Talk, everything is debatable, so in any given week, we could be discussing anything from sports to music to politics. You name it, we discuss it. Now, for those who are new to the show, I break the show down into sections. The first part of the show is current events and topics. My second segment is normally my relationships and family segment, and it's followed by my parting shots. All right, if there's time, I always do a question and answer segment for the audience. If you would like to call in during the show to give some audience questions or comments, please write down this number, 843-900-6847. Once again, that's 843-900-6847. So let's get it cracking. So I wanted to start off, first of all, this week by thanking you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. I do not take it lightly that you guys take the time to watch this show and to engage this discussion. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I see. What up, Mike? Hey, Thomas, what's going on, man? Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I finally could see your comments. I don't know why I couldn't before, but I'm glad I can now. Thank you guys for joining me. But yeah, so let's get it in. Let's start talking about this thing. So first of all, I was going to start off this week by talking about the NBA Finals. All right, the NBA Finals. Now, before we talk about the NBA Finals, I want to flash back to last week. Because last week, if you watched the show, I made a prediction. And because last week we were still in the NBA Finals, NBA Eastern Conference Finals, and we were talking about the Boston versus Cleveland series. And I said that I believe that somehow, some way, Cleveland will pull it out. If you watch the game, you know that LeBron and the Cavs pulled out Game 7 to go on to LeBron's 8th straight NBA Finals, which is amazing. I don't want to stay there too long, but I just want to say to everybody who's been taking time to make it seem like making it to 8 straight finals is really, really easy to do. I want you to go through your life memory and find the other people who made it to 8 straight finals, because I can't think of any at all. I cannot think of anyone who has done that in my lifetime. Now, of course, we all know about the 1950s and 60s Boston Celtics who did it. Actually, they showed a visual graphic on ESPN that showed the only players in NBA history to make it to at least 8 straight finals, and it was a bunch of Boston Celtics and LeBron James. That in of itself should give you some kind of idea of the historical significance of this feat. So shout out to LeBron and the Cavs for making it to their 4th straight finals, and LeBron for making it to his 8th straight finals. That's just amazing. I think one of the things that we're going to look back at this time and realize that we really did not appreciate LeBron James as a basketball player while he was on the court. Now, I will also say this: people who are die-hard LeBron fans, like, they're really annoying, right? They're really annoying because anytime you have somebody that puts somebody on a pedestal and it makes it seem like that person can do no wrong, it's really annoying. It's really annoying, and it makes it hard to follow, hard to keep up with. Just because there's no logic or anything that goes with what they're saying. They're just talking. For whatever reason, they just continue talking, and they make no sense. Hope y'all can hear me okay. But yeah, they just keep talking and they make no sense. So LeBron James fans are probably one of the main reasons that people have this lack of appreciation for LeBron James. But nonetheless, like, we should appreciate LeBron James. Like, I don't think it takes like this super sports mind to realize that LeBron James is great. Like, the guy is really, really good at basketball. With that being said, let's move on to talking about the actual finals. So we had Game 1. And Game 1 was filled with controversy, right? It was a really good game. I think LeBron had 51, 8, and 8, which is amazing. It's crazy. But with that being said, the game was really, really good. It was a great game. Back and forth. Game between the Warriors and the Cavs. You didn't know which way it was going to go, and it looked like, honestly, I think it's fair to say that the Cavs are pretty much in control almost the entire game. Cavs in control almost the entire game, and at some point we get to the last 2 minutes, and apparently it all goes badly. all goes badly. Now, some may blame it on the refereeing, some may blame it on George Hill, some may blame it on J.R. Smith. But you have to admit that if you were watching the game, the Cavs pretty much played the best game that they've played in the playoffs. If you're a fan of basketball, it's not hard to have watched that game and say, wow, the Cavs played really well. This is probably their best series game of the playoffs, and they still lost somehow, which doesn't bode well for the Cavs, to be honest with you. I don't think that the Cavs can beat the Warriors in 7 games. But after watching on, I believe it was last Tuesday or Wednesday night, I'm not so sure. I don't know. I think it's possible that the Cavs could maybe not win the series, but definitely make it more contentious than I thought it would originally. So I'm watching it. I'm interested in seeing what happens. No, the Warriors are not taking the Cavs seriously. I would say that, but I would say this. I would say that the Warriors aren't taking the Cavs seriously, but I think there's something to the fact that Kevin Durant had to play LeBron straight up last game. And as long as you have Kevin Durant trying to play LeBron on defense one-on-one, LeBron's at an advantage because Kevin Durant has to work. And when you have to work that hard on defense and you're not being effective, it makes you a little bit more tired. All right? So I don't know how long this is going to last. I think Kevin Durant. So let's all right. So Kevin Durant had a bad game in game 1, right? We all know that. I mean, if you watch the game, you know that Kevin Durant had a bad game in game 1. But I think that's a result of having to play LeBron as opposed to, because I've seen Kevin Durant have off games before, but not like that. Like Kevin Durant was way off. He also gets a lot of passes, which we could talk about another time, I guess. But I think it's pretty interesting the fact that Kevin Durant gets to play the way he does and not get really any flack when he doesn't play well. I mean, when you're the best player on your team, you should be expected to play well pretty much, if not all the time, the majority of the time, because you're expected to carry your team to a championship. But when you're on a team as good as the Warriors are, and all you have to do is score, then score you should, right? What's up, Raph? Hey, Krisha, what's going on? You definitely should score, and he's not living up to in that first game. He definitely did not live up to what the Warriors need him to be. But with that being said, even with all those things happening, the Warriors still won game 1. J.R. Smith, what were you doing, bro? What were you doing? I'm going to leave that there. That may have been the dumbest thing I've ever seen somebody do in basketball history. I just want to put that out there. This is true. But Golden State has the firepower to overcome him. They should put Kevin Durant on Love and let Dre travel, so to speak. I think if you put Draymond Green on LeBron James, Draymond Green may foul out in the first half of the game. Who's expected to carry the team? Durant. He should be expected to carry the team. He should. If we all say that Kevin Durant is the best player on the Warriors, which I believe Kevin Durant's the best player on the Warriors, maybe somebody thinks that he's not. I would disagree with you. I know that Steph Curry is the leader of the team, but as far as Javaria, what's up, baby? As far as the best player on that team and the second best player in the league, that's Kevin Durant. And when you have that, you have to carry that. When you have it, you have to carry it. And sometimes that means you have to carry your team. Now, does that mean you have to do as much as LeBron is asked to do? No, because you're not in that position. But you definitely should be doing more than he's done. All right? You should definitely be doing more than he's done. And if you're not doing it and everybody's saying that you're as great as people say you are, then you should catch the flack that comes with being the best. If you want to beat a man, you got to beat a man. You got to beat a man. It's flat out, right? I'm just saying. So with that being said, I'm interested in seeing what happens tonight at 8 o'clock when the Cavs and the Warriors suit up for game 2. The Cavs definitely have an opportunity to try to steal home court advantage if they win tonight. And let's see what happens. I'm excited. I love basketball. I'm a big NBA fan, so I'm excited about watching this. What's up, Don? How's it going? Yeah, but moving on. to the next topic. I wanted to talk, for those who don't know, this is Real Talk with Rajon. I am the host, Rajon Lewis, and this is a show that I do weekly that I use to talk about current events and topics. And on Wednesdays, I do my local celebrity spotlights. This week, I'll actually have a local celebrity spotlight featuring Toby Smith, who's a young lady who's running for Congress. So we'll be having her on. So I'll be talking more about her at the end of the show, but I wanted to make sure I did that for those who are new to the show and maybe don't watch all the way to the end. I am Rajon Lewis. This is Real Talk with Rajon. Thank you so much for joining me. All right. And if you're watching it on YouTube, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. But moving on to the next topic, I wanted to talk about Roseanne Barr and this Roseanne situation. All right. So for those who don't know, and I'm going to post a link right here. And if you are watching, if you don't mind sharing it out, I really appreciate it. The more eyeballs we can get on the show, the better it is for the show. And I'm going to get started. Let me share this out really quickly. But yeah, Roseanne Barr, right? So Roseanne Barr is well known for being a comedian, right? She's a really well-known comedian. She's been doing it for quite some time. She had a very popular show in the 90s called Roseanne, and they brought the show back recently in the last year. And the framework of the show was that it's supposed to represent like a family of Trump supporters. Now, maybe that's not what the show is actually supposed to be. Maybe I misunderstood what the point of the show is supposed to be, but that's my understanding of it, is that they wanted to represent maybe what they view to be an underrepresented portion of America as it pertains to Trump voters. All right, we are talking Roseanne. All right, sorry. So they wanted to represent a segment of the country that's not being highlighted on television, which is Trump voters, right? And it on its head, it makes sense. Like, I think that all people deserve representation, and I believe that there may be something that people don't understand about Trump voters, right? But if you have been watching the news and you've seen what's happened with Roseanne, you sort of see where it went in a way that they sort of didn't want people viewing Trump voters. Yeah. So Roseanne, is so she gets, again, I just posted a link and I also wanted to come from the link a little bit. A link comes from CNN.com. As I told you guys, that's a place where I normally pull my articles from. And so in a tweet that Roseanne Barr put out last week, she says, "The Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ." Now, VJ was responding to, Roseanne Barr was responding to a comment about Valerie Jarrett, who was a top former aide to President Obama. All right. Now, VJ, or Valerie Jarrett, who is being referred to, is also an African-American woman. So Roseanne makes a correlation between the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes to refer to a black woman who worked for President Obama. How she didn't see that as troublesome before she sent it, I don't know. But I will say this, and I said this last week. I said this just last week. Since President Trump has been elected, or even since President Obama was in office, there's been far too many people being far too comfortable with being racist openly. There's been far too many people becoming far too comfortable with being openly racist. And that was definitely a problem, what she said. So now, since that's come up, it's been a big storm on the social media front. She came out and tried to apologize, stating that she was on Ambien and it was late at night, and the Ambien was why she said that. To which Ambien actually came out and said that none of their side effects is blatant racism. So I guess Ambien's off the hook for that one. But that's just like, that's crazy to me that someone would think that that's okay to say. And it should be crazy to everybody. It should be crazy to everyone in our country that someone would feel comfortable enough to make a comment that makes a correlation between a woman and an ape. Like, that's crazy. That's not jokes. And Roseanne says, I was joking. She said, I apologize for making a bad joke about her politics and her looks. I should have known better. My joke was in bad taste. Yeah, it was in bad taste, Roseanne. So to that, now ABC's came out and canceled the show. And Roseanne is no longer a show on television. And not only is it a show on television, but from my understanding, they also canceled her show that was in syndication before it. So Roseanne, as online, as a syndicated TV show that's been syndicated since the 90s, to my understanding, is now out of business, which is troublesome for everybody else that worked with her as well. Because like Wanda Sykes, who's a well-known African-American comedian, also used to work for Roseanne in a writing capacity, and she also quit. So it's really backlashed and gone on her. And to that, I will say, good. And I will say this: that is the best sign of the best indicator to me that America's headed in the right direction than anything else that I've seen. That, more than anything else, is a great indication of what is where we're headed as a country, and that we are no longer willing to accept racism, overt racism. Now, we can do better with the covert racism, definitely. But as far as overt racism, the responses that I've seen to racism, whether it be the Starbucks situation or it be people standing up against police officers when the wrong things are done by that minority of police officers, or this situation here where we're seeing these things, we're starting to shut them down, and I love it. I love it. And I love that. I see a comment from Don Boggs that I want to get to. I see a few comments. Let me get to them. Krisha, right at what point did she not realize that was and would not be okay? Exactly. It makes no sense for somebody to make that post and just say, yeah, there we go. Mike, good for Ambien. Definitely good for Ambien. Lucretia, I know, right? Ambien, it was like, no, ma'am, we're not a part of your shenanigans. Definitely. And then Don Bogstad, where's she at? Where is she? She has a responsibility as a person in the public eye to be responsible with her words. Her words to promote good things in the community. They are held at a higher standard. She knew that. She was irresponsible and cruel, and she decided to take the Ambien, so still her fault. The Bible says that the overflow of the heart comes out of the mouth. Yes. Out of the abundance of the mouth, out of the abundance of the heart flows the mouth. Whatever, that kind of way. Absolutely. That's it. That is it. When you say something, it's just like if somebody gets drunk and they start talking all kind of trash to you. It's not because they were drunk. Like, it's not they didn't start like saying random things that they never felt before because they were drunk. That's what they really felt about you, and their filter was gone. And once their filter was gone, now they were saying to you what they always thought of you. And that's what we see with people. And that's what I hope we continue to see with people when they make racist, sexist, and misogynistic, racist, sexist, and misogynistic comments in the public and private or whatever. We have to get past the place where we're just like, oh, well, that's just how they thought in their generation, and it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to be sexist. It's not okay to be misogynistic. It's not okay to be racist. It's not okay to be a bigot. It's not okay to be homophobic. It's not okay. All right. So let's continue to stand up to those people and stand for what we believe in, and whatever that is to you. If you make a comment, make sure you want to stand by it. Just like that guy that was in New York, the attorney who I didn't get to talk about. Hey, Pastor Dixon, how's it going? That attorney I didn't get to talk about in New York, who went into that restaurant and got upset because those people were speaking Spanish. Those people have the absolute right to speak Spanish at wherever they are, because they're in America. America does not have official language that you have to speak. America is the melting pot, and we take people from all over, and we're supposed to love them for who they are, and not treat them as different, or treat them and ostracize those people because they speak a different language, or they have a different religion, or they believe differently, or they love a person that you don't believe that they should love. We are supposed to love one another as we love ourselves. If you're a Christian, that's something you're supposed to believe. So my Christian racists that are out here, you're not living up to the principles. I'm sorry, I'm ranting right now, but you know what it is. If you say you are something, be what you say you are. If you say you are something, be what you say you are. And if you say you're a Christian, you're supposed to love people. That's the biggest commandment. Love thy neighbor as you love thyself. That's Bible. If you don't believe me, look it up for yourself. I don't need to preach to you about that. Anyway, moving on. Roseanne, do better. All right. I hope whatever you're going through right now, I pray you do better. I'm praying for your situation, and I pray that God touches you and speaks to that racist spirit within your heart, because there definitely is an inner racist within you that you need to deal with. All right. Now I'm gonna leave that there. Once again, before I transition, this is Real Talk with Rajon. Thank you so much for joining me. I am the host, Rajon Lewis. I do this show every Sunday night from 7 to around 7:30 to 8 o'clock. I try to keep it short sometimes, but sometimes I end up ranting and raving like I did just now, and the show runs over. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I love doing this show. Moving on to the next topic. I wanted to talk about something that most of my viewers may not know a whole lot about, so I'm going to bring you guys in. So ride with me. Ms. Dawn, don't leave. I want you to know about this, all right? So for a while now, Drake and Pusha has been throwing shots at Drake for whatever reason. There's been times, for those who don't know, I am a rap fan. Like I'm a rap hip hop head. I've been a rap fan since I was a kid, and it's something I still one of the things that I'm working on. But I definitely love hip hop music, and I love discussing hip hop music because sometimes it comes in handy, like right now. So Drake is a rapper from Canada, and Pusha T is a rapper that's been around for quite some time. He came onto the scene with the Clips, him and his brother Malice, and they had a song called Grinding, which probably has the most replicated beat on lunch tables in school history. And Push really does not like Drake for whatever reason. He's been calling him out. He's been taking shots at him for quite some time. And this last week, and I think I talked about this on the show last week, that or I may not have. Push came out and made a song on his mixtape, on his 7-song EP called Infrared. And it's in the song Infrared. Push takes some shots at Drake for being, I guess, underpaid. There's a conception that Drake is underpaid because of the fact that he's on a label with Baby Brian Baby Williams. Is it Brian? I think it's Brian. Yeah, Baby Williams, and he has notorious for not paying his people. So Pusha T puts out a song bashing Drake and making comments about Drake and insinuating, as many have, that Drake doesn't write his own songs. So Drake comes out with a song called Duppy. Now, Duppy was really, really dope. All right? Really, really dope. And on Duppy, Drake calls Pusha out for quite a few things. Not only Pusha, but he calls out Kanye West. And he does it in a really clever way. I enjoyed it. I listened to the track like 4 or 5, maybe 6 times. And then I had a few discussions with some people, and I really, really enjoyed that song. And it was largely about the fact that Push, is relatively insignificant in the world of Drake, and the fact that he believed that maybe Push has been embellishing his tales of being a drug dealer. So these are the things that Drake decides to bash Push on. Well, Push comes back out with a song called, hey, Toya, what's going on, babe? Called what is it called? Oh, man, The Story of Adidon. The Story of Adidon. Now, where I'll say this, I don't think that The Story of Adidon is a better song than Duppy. I think Duppy is a better song just for listening value, bars, and cleverness of the song, with him in true rap battle essence going at Push. Like, to me, it was a better song. The problem with what Push did was this. Push pulled in everybody. So not only did Push come out and talk about Drake, he talked about Drake, he talked about Drake's baby mother, He talked about the fact that Drake was hiding a kid. He talked about Drake's mom. He talked about Drake's dad. And he talked about Drake's best friend. And then on top of that, he put out a picture of Drake in blackface. Oh my gosh. Like that part, like, so since then, people have been waiting for Drake. People have been waiting for Drake to put out a reply. And the truth is that there's really no suitable reply right now. There's really no suitable reply. In fact, it's been so bad. The things that he said have been so bad that Drake has, instead of putting out a song, has put out a series of press releases trying to explain the things that Push put out there. So the blackface thing, right? So I know the story behind the blackface thing. And what up, E? The blackface thing, right? So no, it's not Photoshop. Drake actually took that picture. Now, when Drake put out the press release for that picture, what he said was that he was when he took that picture, it was in the middle of a documentary for trying to bring awareness to the fact that for African Americans to get jobs in the as actors, they sort of have to shuck and jive to get jobs within the entertainment industry as actors. And that's what he was trying to do. But man, yes, Ms. Dawn, it sounds exactly like a playground fight. But it's like a playground fight with millions and millions of people watching. And like, you know how you have like the peanut gallery that's like, ooh, yeah, it's a whole lot of that. But it's put to beats. It's really bad, Ms. Dawn. And as someone who's a proclaimed Drake fan, it's going to take a toll on his career. And I don't know if Drake's going to be able to make a song. What's up, Ivory? Be able to make a song that's going to respond to all these things. He also, I mean, like the guy, like he brought up, he called him a deadbeat dad. And he said that Drake was hiding a kid. Now, since then, the young lady, again, another press release came out. Like this is the part that makes it so bad. When you are, instead of responding with songs or responding with press releases, like you've been hurt. Drake is wounded right now. He's wounded. And I don't know how he responds to this. I don't know how he comes back from this. But as somebody who likes good music and who likes hip hop, I do understand that, you know, this whole beef thing is a part of it. Do I like to see people tear each other down? Definitely not. I always hate seeing that, to be honest with you. But to understand the true essence of hip hop is in the battle rap. And if you see somebody at the top and you think you're supposed to be at the top, which is normally the case when it comes to battle rap, this is what happens. This is what happens. So, you know, Drizzy taking an L. He took an L. If you ask me, I would say that the first round was Infrared versus Duppy. Drake won that round. And then round 2 is the story of Adidon versus whatever it is that Drake decides to do. If Drake doesn't come out with another song, this story of Adidon song is enough to win the battle because the response has just been amazing. It's been crazy. Let's look at some of the comments. Let's see what we got here. Go back up. Let's see. Yes, you're right, Mike. So Drake did bring up Pusha T's wife in the Duppy song. Now he mentioned her briefly, but he didn't talk about his wife. He just brought her up in the song, but he did not talk about her, which is, you know, was sort of one of my points. Brian, the man hired a research team and said, "Tell me the story of Drake." Yeah, that's crazy. And I also think this. So you can't call somebody a deadbeat dad when they actually take care of their kid. Now, the fact that Drake's not like taking pictures, and because of the fact, again, something else that came out is that apparently the woman that Drake had a child with is a porn star. Oh my gosh, another L. Like this. There's so many L's. Like, there's so many L's. Now, again, I don't think the song lyrically and the way he put it together is as good as Duppy, but the things that he said were devastating. Devastating. Let's see. Elvin said, I bet you he won't make a song about school shootings, Trump, or any real issues in the world. I will say this. I'm pretty sure that that Push has mentioned things like that, but Push is mostly a rapper that talks about selling cocaine. and like brags about it. So he probably wouldn't. It's done. Battle rap, I don't know. Sounds like it may be doing a lot more harm than good. In this case, I think it may Miss Dunn. I don't think that this is the way, like this is some hurtful stuff that's being said. But if you look in the grand scheme of things, we look at the history of the history of hip hop is riddled with people making some pretty ridiculous comments about the other guy. Like if you look at the Tupac versus Biggie stuff, like the stuff that Tupac said about Biggie, and like he, what he said about Faith, and then he talked about the fact that what my man from Prodigy from Mobb Deep, he said, "Don't you got sickle cells or something? You mess around and catch a seizure." You had oh my gosh, you got like there's so many like disrespectful. Post the most disrespectful. This is what I do. Post the most disrespectful rap battle line that you've seen since you've been listening to hip hop. And Ms. Dawn, I'll tell you, there's some disrespectful things that have been said in the course of hip hop. I do think that the better man may want to walk away before this turns ugly. I wouldn't want to see it be a situation where somebody gets shot and killed. That would be terrible. That would be awful to hear something like that. Yeah, Brian, he might want to get Eminem on the horn if at all possible. What's up, Shakima? What's going on? But yeah, man, this Drake versus Eminem thing, man. Like, not Drake versus Eminem. Sorry, that would be terrible. Drake versus Pusha T. So okay, let's see. Why does it matter with Drake having writers? They make money just as he does. Candy makes songs for a lot of people. So great question, right? That's a great question, right? So the question is this. So he just asked, why does it matter if a rapper has ghostwriters? So that matters on this realm because the essence of hip hop is I'm the best rapper, and I'm the best rapper because I have the best lyrics, I have the best songs, and I can move the crowd more than anybody else. So when you look at it from that standpoint, having that credibility as the best rapper comes largely from writing your own lyrics. Now, it is a fact that a lot of rappers did not write their own lyrics, which is a really under discussed fact in hip hop music. You look at like Eazy-E. Eazy-E didn't write any of his own songs. NWA was all written by two other people. Yellow and MC Yellow and Ice Cube wrote all the NWA songs. You have Eazy-E, who all of his songs written by somebody else. Salt and Pepper, most of their songs written by somebody else. Will Smith is said to have ghostwriters. A lot of really, really famous rappers have had ghostwriters. Drake has said that he doesn't have ghostwriters. He collaborates with people for certain parts, like maybe hooks and stuff like that, which is understandable. JD also has writers. Yeah, JD definitely has writers. And Jay-Z has written. Dr. Dre, a lot of people like Dr. Dre. All of Dr. Dre's stuff is written by somebody else. So, I mean, but I don't think any of those guys have tried to be known as the best rapper of all time. Kanye West has writers. So these are all things to consider. So what Push's problem is that people really like Drake. Really, to me, what the problem ultimately is that a lot of people like Drake and not as many people like Pusha T. I'm a Push fan, but you know what it is what it is. JD writes for a lot of people. Nah, JD has writers. JD has writers, bro. I mean, he may do some writing, but JD definitely has writers. He definitely has writers. Yeah, but I'm hoping, like I said, I hope it doesn't get super ugly, man. Like I don't want to see people getting killed in the name of music. I like good music. Speaking of good music, Kanye West released an album this week called Ye, and it's not great. It's not great at all. And but I don't want to talk about the actual album. I want to talk about the fact is they have the public ear. They could be doing great things. They are, yeah, definitely. They are wasting time. They could definitely be doing better things with their music than tearing each other down. I definitely agree. Yeah, transitioning in. So Kanye West released an album called Ye this week. And I don't want to talk about the music part of it. I'd rather talk about the fact of, is Kanye West getting a pass? And I'm not gonna post a link because I really don't want to publicize the music as far as that goes. Just other than tell you that it's not great. But a good friend of mine, Latasha Bellamy, and I want to give her credit for this because this was a post that she actually made. She talked about the fact that a lot of people turn their back on several entertainers and public personalities because of their support for Donald Trump. And Kanye West came out and supported Donald Trump, and people still listen to the Kanye album. And the point that I made to her was that I believe that people were listening to the Kanye, people continue to quote unquote support Kanye West by listening to his music as opposed to supporting those other people because of the fact that they probably weren't supporting Kanye West. I mean, they probably weren't supporting those other people for it. I mean, if you look at the people that we're referring to, we're talking about like Chrisette Michele, who sang at the inauguration party. You're talking about an Omarosa, who was on The Apprentice and pretty much was a Trump lackey for quite some time. You're talking about Stacey Dash, who is outwardly known for being a Trump supporter. People like that who really weren't that popular in the black community anyway. Now, I'd say probably the biggest support, but like Steve Harvey's still supported by the African American community largely, though he's been supportive of Trump in the past. I think the thing is this: the people that have continued to get supported are people who've always gotten support. Steve Harvey's support has always largely come from the African American community. Steve Harvey has a TV show, he has a radio show, he hosts Family Feud, and it's largely watched by African Americans. Steve Harvey still got that pass after he went in and sat down with Donald Trump. Kanye West went out and supported Donald Trump, and not only supported Donald Trump, but gave us a soliloquy about how slavery was a choice. So the Kanye West puts out an album, and it becomes the #1 album on iTunes. You have to expect that to happen. Why? Because people always supported him. This isn't a situation where, you have somebody, I'm trying to think of a situation where somebody was heavily supported and then they just overnight just gave up on a person. I stopped listening to Chrisette Michele years ago, way before the Trump stuff. And if I thought Chrisette Michele was dope and she was a Trump supporter, I wouldn't care because I thought she was dope. I just don't think she's dope anymore. And that's really where I stand on it. I will say this, from listening to that Kanye West album, Kanye West definitely seems to be going through some things. He starts the album by talking about the fact that the album starts with him saying, I thought about killing you today. He said, I thought about killing me, so I definitely would kill you because I love me way more than I love you. Like, that's a weird way to start an album. So that's why I said that I think Kanye West is really going through some stuff. If you watch that Charlemagne interview, I've talked about that a few weeks ago. Kanye West is really going through some stuff, man. Like, he really, really is. And I think this is a time that we all, those of us who believe in the power of prayer, we need to pray for that guy. We need to pray for that guy. Because whatever it is that he's going through, he's not going to get through without God. He's just not. And those views definitely do reflect the ideas and opinions of Rajon Lewis. Whatever Kanye West is going through, he is not going to get through without the power of prayer. So if you believe in prayer, I don't think one would be wasted on Kanye West. We talk about praying for your enemies all the time in the church, or praying for people who you don't understand, or you don't understand their situation. This would be a great time to exercise that, because he seems to be one who needs it, whether it be for his mental disorder that he's talking about being bipolar, or rather it be talking about rather be talking about a lot of things. So Brooke just said, don't you think his plan is somewhat working? His wife has been invited to the White House to discuss prison reform. Okay, cool. So his wife has been invited to the White House to discuss prison reform. Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian was invited to the White House to discuss prison reform. Unless Kim Kardashian is a lot smarter than she appears to be on TV and every time she talks, I think that President Trump just brought Kim Kardashian to the White House so he can look at her. Just being honest with you. because there's no way in my mind, I can justifiably say that President Trump looks at Kim Kardashian West and says, you know who really understands what's going on in these streets with prison reform? It's Kim Kardashian West. President Trump pulled her in there on some, I'm gonna sneak a look at this young lady's body. All right? Okay. Come on, y'all. Come on. What next? He gonna call in Halle Berry to talk about the nuclear weapons ban? Come on now. Come on, y'all. He's gonna call in Kate Upton to talk about nuclear physics. He's gonna talk about the recession, about the debt ceiling with Come on, man. Come on, y'all. Let's be real here. Kim Kardashian? No, man. If we think that Kanye West's plan is working because President Trump called in Kim Kardashian West to talk about prison reform, Kim Kardashian West knows as much about prison reform as I know about officiating tennis. Outside of the fact that there's a line, and if the ball hits the line, it's in, and if it doesn't hit the line, it's out. That's all I know. Kim Kardashian knows less than that about prison reform. You will not today, not on Real Talk with Rajon, you won't convince me that that's what no. Sorry. No. So with that being said, prison reform, I'm saying that's crazy. Anyway, moving on to the next topic. Y'all are funny, man. Moving on to the next topic. It's really my final topic. Well, no, I got one topic and then my parting shot. So they're sort of tied together. So for those who don't know, I'm a teacher. And my last day of school officially with students was on Friday. So shout out to the teachers. Boom, 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 boom. We'll get into that later. But what I really wanted to talk to was the parents, right? I want to talk to the parents. This is a good opportunity to have some talks about some good things for the kids to do, because what we don't want is for the kids to sit in the house and do nothing all day, play video games, lose all that great knowledge that they've gained. Throughout the school year, working with these awesome teachers. Shout out to all the teachers. Pew, 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 pew. During the school year. So I wanted to find some things for the kids to do during the summer. So I found an article, just transitioning. I found an article with 100 fun summer ideas for kids and parents. And I just wanted to highlight a few of them. So it says, I wanted to talk about those things, to highlight a few of those things that you can do with your kids during the summer. Because what we don't want to do is just leave those kids in the house and just have them with the video games, doing nothing, eating junk food and, not adding on and experiencing the summer, enjoying life. So the number one idea that I saw that was on there was pick your own ... whatever. I like that idea. Pick your own ... whatever. I'm going to put that in there. All right. And that's talking about like blueberries, strawberries, tomatoes, flowers, etc. and get picking. Like find a farm. Go find a farm and pick some stuff. I know in South Carolina we have a lot of strawberry farms, right? Go pick some flowers. Go pick some tomatoes. Go out, have a good time. Pick some strawberries, have a great time. I see Ms. Dawn, I already see you build some things. Build some stuff, definitely. Put hammer to nail. Me and my son will be out there working on the fence. Let's see. Cook out, right? You can cook out with your family. That's always a good thing to get the family together. Put some burgers on the grill. Try some veggies, fish. The kids might like them even more if they come off the grill. Make s'mores. Chocolate plus marshmallows plus graham crackers equals summer, right? Stargaze, invite friends, right? Lay down on a blanket in the middle of the yard. Look at the stars. Talk about the constellations that they learned about during the school year. Camp out. I've never been camping. I do have a tent though. Maybe me and RJ camp this summer. I don't know. I gotta get more consistent on cutting this grass before we can do that though. Haha. Camp in. Put sleeping bags on the floor and have a family slumber party. That does sound cool. Toya, we should do that. Go see an air show and hope for no crashes. That's a good one. Go to a water park. Have a puzzle race. Buy a puzzle. See who can put it together the fastest. That's cool. Go to a botanical garden. That's a good idea. Let's see. Grow some flowers. Plant a garden. That sounds good. Go to a museum. Please. I'm going to stop there. Go to a museum. Most museums are either really inexpensive or free. Go to a museum. Take your kids to a museum. Talk to them about the things in the museum. Talk to them about the things that they learned in school. Make connections. Make connections. As a teacher, what's one of the things that I can tell you that helps kids is when they can make a connection between something that they read or something that they learned in school and like actually making it tangible, making them be able to see it. Take an early morning bird walk. In South Carolina, we got a whole bunch of trees. Take a bird walk. Talk about trees. Let's see. Go to a matinee. Definitely go to an early movie. Take your kids to the movie. See something, that won't damage them. All right. Go fishing. RJ wants to go fishing. RJ, we going fishing, dude. I'm excited. Jump rope. People still jump rope, don't they? Go jump roping. What's up, Damien? We're talking about 100 things to do with kids during the summer. Build a Lego castle. That's dope. Play miniature golf. That's a good one. Make fairy houses. I wouldn't know what to do with a fairy house, but go for it. Make a house for a fairy. Fly a kite. Run in the yard. Play kickball, wiffle ball, frisbee. Tag. Do that. Dough creations. Set up badminton. Build a bird feeder. Play charades. Make music. And read. I cannot emphasize enough the need for children to read over the summer. Several libraries have opportunities for reading clubs, and they have different reading activities. And you're looking for like day camps and stuff to send your kids to during the day. Take them to the library. The library has a plethora of opportunities for kids to go in and do something that interacts them with reading opportunities. Also, for my older kids, internships. If you haven't already locked in an internship, it may be too late for some of the bigger ones, but there's always opportunities for internships available that will help you to get your volunteer hours and to get you set up for whatever it is a career that you want to have on your way out, on your way out of your parents' house. You want to set yourself up for success. So all of those are things that you can definitely do. If you have some great ideas, please post them in the comment section of things that you can do with your kids during the summer, things that may not cost. I think everything that I mentioned, only a few of them actually cost money. A lot of them are free. A lot of them cost you very little to no money. All right? Have fun with your kids. Parents, take this time with your children. All right? I know we have really busy schedules. We have a lot that we do, but this is a great time to get to know your children and to really spend time with them. So I hope that we do that. All right? With that being said, I want to go to my parting shot. My parting shot tonight talks about the fact that, yes, I am a teacher. I am a teacher. And as a teacher, I spend all year long with students. And for the last 2 years, I've spent my year. I started out at Sires. I started at Sires. We opened last year for the first in 2016 fall, and we started. And I started with a group of fourth graders. About 80 kids, because I had my homeroom. About 40 kids, because I had my homeroom and I had my switch class. And then at the end of that year, I moved forward at the end of the year to 5th grade, and a lot of those kids were in my class. So I had an opportunity to really watch them grow and learn and mature for 2 whole years. And I have to tell you that it was really amazing. Hey, Mom, it was really amazing to have that opportunity to watch them grow. And I said that to say this. You will never, unless you have stepped into a classroom as a teacher or even as a volunteer and been able to see the interactions that teachers have with students on a day-to-day basis, all the things that teachers are asked to be to students. We're asked to be psychologists and psychiatrists and sociologists and nurses and cafeteria workers and everything you could think of that a person has to be: mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles, like everything you could think of that a person has to be, a teacher has to be. So with this summer approaching and beginning, I hope that I don't see a whole lot of, bashing of teachers because they get the summer off. Because there is no job in this country, I'm going to repeat, there is no job in this country that requires more from a person than teaching. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. Teaching takes so much out of you. And you get such understanding of the human element through teaching, more than you will ever understand unless you step into the classroom. So with that being said, my hats are off to every single teacher this year that stood up for the field of education. Shout out to the teachers in North Carolina. Shout out to the teachers in West Virginia. Shout out to the teachers in, I believe, Oklahoma. Lacey Strunk, you are one of my heroes. Shout out to all of you who stood up for the field of education. You cannot, it is not possible to overpay teachers. If teachers were getting paid $3 million a year, if teachers were getting paid NBA salaries, you still would not be overpaying teachers for what they're required to do. So with summer approaching, shout out to all the teachers out there. If you don't find a teacher and thank a teacher, find a teacher and thank a teacher today. Because I appreciate you. As a teacher, until I became a teacher, I did not fully understand what is asked of us. So I thank you. I love you. And that's my parting shot of the day from Real Talk with Rajan. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody so much for watching this week. Reminder that the show is now split into 2 parts. Wednesdays at 7, I interview my local celebrities, and on Sundays at 7 p.m. is my normal live show. Now this week, my local celebrity spotlight shines on congressional candidate Toby Smith. We will be meeting to talk about her upcoming candidacy for Congress in South Carolina. I'm looking forward to the opportunity, so please tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. to check it out. Do not be the person left out because you didn't tune in. If you are doing something in the community that you would like to a light shined on, please reach out to me on the Real Talk lines. That's 843-900-6847. That's 843-900-6847. Or at realtalkrajan@gmail.com. So reach out to me so that we can discuss getting you on the show to talk about the great things that you're doing in the community. If you would like to know and be made aware of when I go live, because sometimes it is unscheduled, please be sure to click the follow tab on the page and turn on the notifications so that you will know when something new has been posted to the page. In addition to that, I also do my Minute to Win It series, which I post sporadically from time to time, and that's just a minute of inspiration. It's a minute of motivation, inspiration, and just something I'm dealing with personally at the time, and I want to share with you guys. If you check those out, if you like those, please check them out, share them, like them, leave comments. If there's something you'd like me to do a minute to win it, or even talk about on Real Talk with Rajan, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know. I love that. In the meantime, please follow me on social media to stay up to date on what's happening with Real Talk with Rajan. On Twitter, I am at Real Talk Rajan. On Facebook, I am at Real Talk with Rajan. On YouTube, I am at Real Talk with Rajan. On Periscope, I am at Real Talk Rajan. On Instagram, I am at Real Talk Rajan. I am now also on SoundCloud at Real Talk with Rajan. And you can also find me on the Apple Music Podcast, Google Play Store, and AnchorFM.com. Please feel free to leave comments, questions, or whatever else you'd like to say in the comment section on the message section below. I love reading your messages and getting your feedback, even if it's negative. If you like my show, if you watch the show and you like it, say, hey, Rajan, I like your show. If you don't like the show, say, hey, Rajan, I don't like the show, and here's why. Here's how you can prove. As I always say, I want to get better. I am also currently accepting invitations to speaking engagements and event hosting opportunities. If you'd like for me to speak at or host your event, you can request me through Facebook, my Facebook page, or you can email me at realtalkwithrajan@gmail.com. In closing, thank you again so much for watching. I do not take for granted you watching my show and endorsing what I do. Always remember, in closing, if a man doesn't stand for something, he is bound to fall for anything. Now that is real talk. Thank you for coming and grow with me. I love you. I thank you, and I will see you on Wednesday. Peace.